Is Lars Nootbaar the kind of undervalued, intelligent acquisition that separates championship organizations from everyone else? Or is betting on a player coming off bilateral heel surgery just too risky even for a team as talented as the Dodgers? Let me ask you something about how elite front offices actually build rosters. Everyone talks about the big signings and the blockbuster trades, but the real genius often happens in the margins, where a general manager identifies a player that the rest of the market has undervalued due to injury and bets that his organization's medical staff can get that player healthy in time for October. According to reporting from Matthew Moreno citing Ken Rosenthal on Friday, December 18th, 2025, Andrew Friedman has identified exactly that kind of opportunity. Lars Nootbaar, the St. Louis Cardinals outfielder who's dealing with bilateral heel surgery, but offers elite plate discipline and defensive versatility at a depressed market price. Welcome back to the channel, Dodger Nation. We got another fascinating under-the-radar move that showcases why Andrew Friedman is considered the best executive in baseball. While everyone's focused on the headline-grabbing acquisitions like Edwin Diaz and the potential blockbuster trades for Tarek Skubal or Brandon Lowe, the Dodgers are quietly exploring a move that could provide tremendous value if the medical gamble pays off. Let's break down who Lars Nootbaar is, why the Dodgers are interested, what the risks are, and whether this is a kind of smart, calculated move that wins championships. First, let's establish who Lars Nootbaar actually is, because if you're not a Cardinals fan, you might not be familiar with him. Nootbaar is a 28-year-old outfielder who's been a solid contributor for St. Louis over the past few seasons. On the surface, his 2025 numbers don't jump off the page. He hit .234 with 13 home runs and 48 RBIs over 135 games. Those are respectable but not spectacular numbers. If you're just looking at batting average and home runs, Nootbaar doesn't look like an all-star or even particularly exciting acquisition. But here's where the Dodgers' analytical approach separates them from other organizations. They don't evaluate players based on batting average. They evaluate them based on on-base percentage, walk rate, and decision-making at the plate. And when you look at Nootbaar through that lens, a very different picture emerges. Despite his modest batting average, Nootbaar maintained an on-base percentage of .325 in 2025. That's elite. That means he's getting on base at a rate that's well above league average, even in a down year offensively. The reporting specifically highlights that one of Nootbaar's greatest strengths is his ability to draw walks at a high rate. He's a disciplined hitter who doesn't swing at pitches outside the zone. He works counts. He makes pitchers throw strikes, and he gets on base through a combination of hits and walks. In a Dodgers lineup that already has Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman, you need guys who can get on base and set the table for the power hitters. Nootbaar does exactly that. The versatility is another major selling point. Nootbaar can play any position in the outfield. He can play left field, center field, or right field depending on the matchup or the needs of the team. That kind of positional flexibility is incredibly valuable for a manager like Dave Roberts, who likes to mix and match based on opposing pitchers and game situations. You're not just getting a left fielder. You're getting a player who can fill multiple roles. The contract situation is also favorable for the Dodgers. Nootbaar is under team control by a salary arbitration through the 2027 season. That means the Dodgers will have him for at least 2 more years at a predictable, controllable cost. They're not taking on a massive long-term commitment. They're getting a player with known costs and known control. That's exactly the kind of financial structure the Dodgers prefer. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the medical risk. According to the reporting, Nootbaar underwent surgery on both heels in October. That's significant. Heel surgery can be serious and can take time to recover from properly. The reporting notes that there's a real possibility he could miss the beginning of the 2026 season. That's not ideal for a team trying to win immediately. But here's where the Dodgers' organizational philosophy comes into play. They have a history of acquiring injured players and trusting their medical staff to get them healthy. Look at Tyler Glasnow, who's had multiple injuries throughout his career, but has been dominant when healthy. Look at James Paxton, who the Dodgers acquired while dealing with injuries and who contributed to their championship runs. The Dodgers have built a reputation for having one of the best medical and training staffs in baseball, and they're willing to bet on that advantage. The strategy makes sense. If Nootbaar misses April and part of May, that's acceptable. The Dodgers aren't trying to win in April. They're trying to win in October. If Nootbaar can get healthy and be ready for the second half of the season and the playoffs, the trade will have been worth it. The Dodgers are essentially buying low on a player whose value has been depressed by injury, betting that they can get him healthy in time for the postseason. The reporting also provides important context about other roster moves. Teoscar Hernandez's status remains uncertain, with a possibility that he could be traded to create more outfield need. If Teoscar is indeed moved, that opens up a left field spot that Nootbaar could fill. This is classic Andrew Friedman front office work. Identifying undervalued talent, making calculated bets on player health, and building a complete roster through intelligent moves at every level. It's not flashy, but it's effective. And that's exactly how championship teams are built. All right, Dodger Nation. That's the full breakdown on the Lars Nootbaar pursuit and what it means for the outfield situation. What do you think? Is Nootbaar the right fit at a reasonable price? Or is the heel surgery too much of a risk? Should the Dodgers be gambling on injured players? Or should they pursue healthier options? And how important is elite plate discipline and on-base ability in a championship lineup? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis helped you appreciate the nuances of smart roster construction, hit that like button and let's keep the conversation going. The off-season is full of these kinds of intelligent moves, and we're going to be here covering every angle. Let's go Dodgers.